Hello everyone, welcome back to another Vox Machina video. Today we're going to talk about the airship scene, I guess, and the interacting with the villagers scene. I don't know what to call these things. Hey, heads up from Editor John. I got excited and did more than just those two scenes. But before we do, if you like this video, please hit the like button, share it, tell me in the comments down below. And if you have an idea for what animated show, whether it be anime or just animated in general, give me an idea in the comments. I do want to try doing other things. I'm thinking of doing Arcane, because I really like Arcane. And I was trying to do some anime stuff, but I want to make sure that you guys like that before I go more into anime. Because I was doing anime before, it kind of went, but we'll see where it goes. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started.
One more question. Yeah, how are we supposed to get there?
First off, I really want to point out really quickly that D&D worlds are really interesting. This flying spaceship thing runs off of magic and wind.
Fuck you, science!
It's kind of crazy and silly. It's kind of absurd, and I really like it. Because it also has crossbows on it. It has ballistas and stuff like that. So it's a mix of really weird technologies, and I like the fuck out of D&D worlds. If you played stuff like Baldur's Gate, you know what I mean? Because Baldur's Gate has a lot of weird technologies in the world. There's fucking spaceships. There's old world technology that's run by evil stuff. It's just a bunch of cool stuff in D&D. And if you guys have not gotten into D&D lore and stuff like that, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun and it's really weird. So one thing I did notice that I kind of find interesting is that everyone except for Percy is kind of super interested in the spaceship, implying that Percy has seen stuff like this in the past, which he's a prince, so he's probably seen spaceships before, and he's also really smart with technology, so it probably doesn't impress him necessarily. The other two that are not impressed by it right now is the twins, but they're mostly focused on their own internal thing going on with Vex sensing a dragon, essentially. So there's something else going on with them. So they're kind of distracted instead of being all amazed by them being on a spaceship. Because everyone else is extremely amazed and happy to be on the spaceship. They're all in awe of it. So one thing I really want people to start paying attention to in the continuity is the continuity of the bear. I love this bear, but he disappears in this scene constantly. Look how high he is off the ground from where Vex is. And look at the camera angle. So he should be in view of most of these scenes, but he's not. And in one scene later on, he's completely forgotten about.
Right there in the throne room. I haven't felt that since...
Isn't this ship amazing? There's 2 bathrooms downstairs. Hey, by the way, why are you both whispering like we can't hear you?
This scene with the twins that is interrupted by Scatlin, which, yes, I know, I'm going to mispronounce his name. I'm dyslexic, and I will not stop mispronouncing his name specifically for some reason. It is stuck in my head as Scatlin. I'm sorry. But the scene is specifically here to, start introducing and setting up for their backstory of them with their parents and how they lost their mother.
Can you mind your business for once, gnome?
It's also a pretty funny introduction to Scatlin's relationship with Vex. Throughout the entire show, Vex and Scatlin don't really have the best relationship. She clearly cares about him to a certain degree. She worries about him. She's scared of losing him when he gets captured by those undead dog things. She does care, but she doesn't start off very much being friends with Scatlin or really seemingly caring about him. But she does care. That's one thing I really like about Vex is she's got a very cold, outward demeanor, but she's very caring about everyone else inside. And as I stated before, disappearing bear. There's no more bear next to Vex in the scene whatsoever. He's just gone.
Which is why only the most noble, heroic, and true...
Yeah, nobility and heroism is fine and all, but we're in this for the money.
Vex completely re-cements the fact that the team is there just for the money, not for being good people. They just want the cashola, which is fine for right now, and it's very, consistent with his nature so far throughout the entire first episode. Also, funny thing, if you look at Kiki over here in the corner, she's kind of why'd you say that? Oh god, why'd you say that to the lady? I don't want her to get mad at us. She's our boss, basically. Stop. She's making that weird face. And throughout the entire show, there are small animation details like that, where they just animate a character to do something that's consistent with their character. That's one thing that Vox Machina as a show is very good at doing. And again, in this scene when the ship is landing, the bear is gone. Completely. No one knows where he is. He's nowhere else in the shot. He's just gone. He's a magical ghost bear.
He's a phantom.
Any evil wizards or giant monsters passing through here? It's kind of weird.
This is the first time we see that Kiki can actually interact and communicate with nature. Apparently, no one else in the team seems to understand that she can do this, even though she's a fucking druid. And shouldn't really surprise them, if I'm being honest, but I guess she might be the first druid they've ever dealt with, maybe? I don't know. But this is something that she does stay very consistent with for the rest of the show. She tries to talk to trees, nature, and has this whole moment where she uses the tree in Percy's town to actually power herself up when she talks to it. So this is early setup for that scene near the end of the first season.
Bless our house. Protect it from this evil.
A blessing? Yeah, sure. No problem.
Oh, I love this scene so much. This is here to set up that Pike is very unsure of her connection to her own god. She doesn't even think she can properly pray for a house. I did miss one thing in my video before where I talked about Pike, where she was talking to her friends about maybe doing the right thing, and then basically saying, nah, that sounds boring. That was the early setup of her essentially having conflict in herself of doing what her religion would do, which is like a kind, good, caring thing, and what her adventurer side wants to do, which is like get money, food, drink, and all that stuff. Thank you for Captain Paxo for actually pointing that out to me in the comments. But this is also more set up for that she's not even sure she can bless a house. I like how every time that Pike actually gets a little insecure or like worried about her like religion or her powers, she reaches for her holy relic around her neck and she's just playing with it a little bit. It's actually consistent, like I pointed out in the last video when she grabbed it at the end of the throne room scene.
Wow.
And now it's in yours.
Whoa.
That's real silver. Keep it safe.
And probably one of the saddest things to start setting up is the death of the villagers and how it's going to affect Vax throughout the next episode. He gives this kid the coin. At the end of the episode, he's going to get it back because, well, the kid dies. And it's just so depressing. I think this is me very much speculating on this, but I think he sees a little bit of himself and his sister and these two kids. And that's why he kind of had a little nice moment with them and giving them a coin.
Think you'll be needing this.
A little setup for Kiki and Vax's relationship. They're constantly helping each other, backing each other up, and trying to make sure that each other doesn't get hurt throughout the show. And it's actually, this is the first moment where they kind of do that, where he just like helps her out with her staff.
Okay, but why though?
Possibly the most unnecessary death in the entire fucking show, the baby lamb getting crushed by a dragon. What the fuck? Funny thing is, like, before this scene, before he starts shooting lightning at people, there's actually a lot of setup prior to let you know that it is a storm dragon. They talk about there being a storm in the sky, wings beating, the monster being huge, and destroying constant, like, farmland. The farmland being essentially lit on fire because of the ability that it shoots lightning at people. This scene might not look like much, but I need you guys to remember that Kiki is a druid. She can essentially hear the voices of all the trees dying and screaming while they're in pain, while they're lit on fire. That's why she had a bit of a moment where she kind of was shocked by the scene of the trees all being lit on fire.
I suggest we run right now.
Fuck that. We fight!
Run, you dumb brave asshole!
And this is actually my favorite line from Vax through the entire show. Grog, you dumb brave asshole. It really explains Grog as a person in general. He's dumb as fuck, but he's brave as hell. Like, it's great. So this is something interesting I don't see Vex ever actually use all that much in the show. Magic arrows. So I don't know if those arrows themselves are magical because we've seen other magic arrows in the show, or that she has a spell slot that she can just use magic on the arrows. You know what I mean? So I'm not 100% sure if she's like a magic casting archer, or she's just an archer that has magic arrows on her. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. So another interesting scene here. I think that Pike might have protected Percy from getting killed by the lightning blast here, because you see her run forward in front of him. The lightning hits in front of him. She gets sent flying back. So I think that the lightning like went across. She jumped in front of him, blocked it, and then it kept going to the left of him. And she essentially kept him alive. And probably one of my favorite scenes with Kidalith that's actually kind of funny. She's so overpowered. She could just call down a giant lightning strike on something. If it wasn't for the fact this thing's a lightning dragon, it probably would have done some damage. But that lightning bolt, look how big it is. Like, yeah, I'm going to pause it so you guys can see it. It engulfs the entire dragon. Kidalith is fucking ridiculously powerful. And she just like, lightning. Just calls it down. And right after this, she also puts up vines for everyone to protect them from the rocks falling down on top of them. Also, yes, Kidalith using lightning on a lightning dragon is probably one of the dumbest fucking things she could have actually done. And it did literally no damage because it's a fucking lightning dragon. And the moment where you realize the dragon is actually intelligent is where he avoids Pike's shield and goes for the rocks above everyone.
Question. Is this normal? Oh, no.
And just to remind everyone, Grog is a Goliath. That's his race from D&D. And he's so damn tough that he can have a hole in his rib cage and ask if it's like normal. Like, he's bleeding out, but realistically, he's mostly fine. Like, his entire rib cage is just bleeding out. He's just standing there like it's just kind of an inconvenience. Also, I want to point out that, like, Vex gets to the point where she almost vomits.
I got you.
Oh, thanks. You can put me down now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the last thing I want to talk about, the early setup for Scantlin having an immense crush on Pike. Now, I don't know 100% if Pike reciprocates these feelings by the end of the season, because she does give the whole my gnome line at the end of it, but it starts here, boys and girls, and it's honestly, I think, one of the cutest ships, because they're completely polar opposites. One is a holy woman, and the one is Scantlin, who is basically, well, he's Scantlin. Also, I do think this scene with Scantlin and her eyes is actually really, really cute, because this is the first time you see him actually be embarrassed, which is very rare for Scantlin, if I'm being honest. He's not really a shy person. So this is actually kind of a really interesting scene that shows you that he does get embarrassed if it comes to people that he actually genuinely cares about. Anyway, those are all the things I noticed in these scenes. And if you guys notice anything else, please let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys want me to keep making content like this, please let me know. I will keep going until you guys get bored, and I can move on to something else. But you know, I genuinely do love Vox Machina, so I'm completely willing to keep going with this up until the next episode, or even more if that is what you guys want me to do. Or if you guys want to see more content like this, check out my Twitch, my TikTok, and if you guys want to talk to me, check out my Discord down in the description. I'll see you guys later. Bye!